Hey, this is Chris from GAK, and today we're going to be talking about Acoustasonics. So they've been out for a while now, the Telecaster in particular, with the Stratocaster being a bit more of a recent addition, but there's been a lot of apprehension from a lot of people about them, not being quite sure what they are, what their purpose is, whether the price tag is worth justifying. So what I want to do today is I want to go through them in a bit more detail, and I want to discuss what their purpose is and why you should potentially own one. So the main idea behind them is that you're getting multiple personalities within one guitar. Now, a lot's been said about the fact that it's a crossover between electric and acoustic, but what goes slightly under the radar is the fact that within the acoustic realm on there, you're getting a load of different sounds all in one instrument. So let me give you a rundown of both guitars, starting with the Tele. So first thing you'll notice, as you can see here, it's shaped like a Telecaster, hence Acoustasonic Telecaster. The one we've got here is the lovely surf green. We've got another one here that I'm going to actually play in a bit for you, which is the black version, but this is the surf green one. So it's shaped like a Telecaster. They've made some modifications to that in order to best incorporate the acoustic aspect of it. So for example, they've specifically designed things like this sound hole to best fit the guitar. So this is actually patented design. So it's SIRS, which means Stringed Instrument Resonance System. So that's designed for the maximum projection to best kind of project the sound of the hollow body, which obviously the electronics are going to be picking up. Now, what electronics have we got in here? So firstly, it's got a piezo pickup under the bridge here that's going to be doing a lot of the legwork for the acoustic sounds. As well as that, there is also a body sensing pickup in there. So that is going to be taking a lot of the resonance of the wood, of the top, as well as bringing out some of the harmonic frequencies and things like that. And then of course, the much talked about electric aspect of this is handled by this Fender noiseless pickup. So let's talk about the controls. So you've got a 5-way switch here. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is controlling the different voices that you have in this guitar. So you've got 7 acoustic sounds, you've got an acoustic electric blend, and then 2 full electric sounds. Now that's 5 selections, 10 voices. So I hear you ask, how do you control the other 5? And that is where this blend knob comes into effect. So the blend knob actually allows you to blend between 2 voices on each pickup selection. And last but not least, you've got volume because, well, you need a volume. So when the tone knob is rolled all the way back, we're going to call that voice A. And when it's rolled all the way on, we're going to call that voice B. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one in that much detail, but the important thing to remember is that when you roll between A and B, you can blend between 2 voices, either having them fully on or fully off, or having a mixture between the two. And that is controlling various different acoustic guitar setups with different body shapes, different tone woods, and you can really hear the difference as you kind of blend each voice in and out. So position 5 is 2 acoustics, as is position 4. Position 3 is worth talking about though, because that is where the body sensing pickup starts to come into effect. So with the tone knob rolled all the way back, in the A position, it's another acoustic voice. But when you blend in tone B, that is when the body sensing pickup comes into effect. So I've demonstrated quite poorly some percussive sounds on the top, but it gives you an example of the fact that the actual top of the instrument is coming into play here, and it gives you kind of a richer harmonics. When you're kind of playing a bit more percussively, you will hear that come in. Now when you go into position 2, this is where the electric guitar element starts to come in. So all the way off, you have an acoustic voice setting, but when you roll the knob on, you're actually all the way full getting a blend between acoustic and the electric pickup. I found it's quite nice because it's almost acting like you're double tracking an electric and an acoustic guitar. It's got various kind of useful applications, so I've demonstrated a bit of that as well. And then lastly, the thing to talk about is when you roll into position 1, that is when you get your electric tones. So rolled all the way into position A on the tone knob, you get a nice Fender electric clean sound using that noiseless pickup. But when you blend in tone B, you get a much fatter, a little bit bitier acoustic sound. So that would be better for kind of lead work or something a bit kind of bitey and crunchy when you're playing. Now they've made efforts to make every type of guitarist feel at home with this instrument. So the actual neck is a kind of slightly modified electric neck. So it's got a modern deep C shape. So it doesn't feel that further out of place from a Telecaster, but they come with bronze strings on there, so the strings are a bit stiffer, so they're a bit better for acoustic applications. So I think it's a nice mix between the two. You can still kind of play Syrian leads on this if you need to. You know, you can kind of do bends and things like that as well, but you still get that firmness that you would get from an acoustic. So one last thing before we get into the playing. I'm actually using a couple of extra Fender Acoustic toys today to kind of further demonstrate the sounds that you can get off these instruments. So the first thing I'm using is the Fender Acoustic Preverb pedal. So it's a combination between a preamp and a load of specifically acoustic designed reverbs. Preamp, reverb, preverb. So you have 3 specifically designed for acoustic reverbs on here that you can select between. You also have kind of controls on there as well to control the reverb level, dampening time. The preamp section is great if you are using a guitar that's got a bit of a low output on the pickup, because that can boost using the gain, and there's a couple of other different tone options on there as well. Now you don't really need the preamp section of this with the Acoustasonic, but what I've done is I've rolled down the volume of the amp and I've turned up the gain a bit just so you can really hear how the preamp is coming into effect. With that said, let's move on to the amp that I'm using. So I'll talk about why it's important to choose your amp later on in the video, but for this, I'm going to be using one of Fender's own acoustic amps. This is the Acoustic Junior. So the Acoustic Junior is a great sounding, affordable, portable acoustic amp option that I think pairs great with an Acoustasonic. There's a couple of features on there that are really useful as well. So you've got 2 channels on there, so you can put your acoustic in. You could also put your microphone in and sing through this and have both as an option. The other cool thing, it has some nice onboard effects. I'm not going to go through those really today because we're going to be using the acoustic preverb to show that off, but you do have 11 really good quality effects on there. And then the last cool thing that's on here is you've got your own inbuilt looper on there, which is great for playing live or even just practicing in your bedroom. So it's got a looping system on there, and you can actually connect a foot switch to this and control the looping using a foot switch. So let's have a little play of this then. What I'll do, I'll roll you through some of the settings. I'll kind of blend the tone knob in and out, try and play some kind of different stuff so you can really hear the electronics in action, and hopefully see what you think. Now you may notice that I'm wearing a different t-shirt now to when I'm playing, and that is because somebody put the wrong settings on the camera when I was doing this speaking bit originally. It was me, there's nobody else here. So. So now let's move on to the Strats. Now obviously they are kind of similar price brackets, similar quality, you're still getting a great build on both of them. But this has got some slightly different features, which we're going to go into in a sec, which make it a great alternative on the market to the Tele. So firstly, the electric pickup is slightly different. So this is an N4 magnetic noiseless pickup. So I think it's a slight upgrade in the pickup. And then some of the acoustic voices in there are slightly different to the Telecaster. There's a lot of kind of similar setups to it. Like I said, they're not a million miles away from each other, but you know, there's enough difference there for it to be a viable option between the two, other than the different shape. Now this is where it's slightly different, because in position 2, when you start rolling from A to B, instead of it going from acoustic to an acoustic blend, you actually get a full clean electric sound. So I really like this as an addition, because it allows you to still kind of have the blend between acoustic and electric like we talked about on the Tele, if you have it halfway, but then you can go further than that, have more electric than acoustic, and then have full electric on there as well. So in position A on pickup selection 1, you've got like a semi-clean Fender sound. So it's a bit bitier than position 2B, which is obviously the full clean. And then when you roll on to position B on the first pickup selection, you actually get a much kind of fatter, crunchier sound. There's a lot of different options that you can get from the electrics on this, which I really like. So again, I brought 2 of these over to show you. The one that we've been showing all the features on is the Sunburst color, but they also have a few others, including this really nice Ziricote exotic special run version. So this is made with a really nice Ziricote wood, so you'll hear kind of tonally the difference, as well as that, the actual kind of construction of it, the look of it is absolutely gorgeous. Obviously it's a premium option, but I'm going to play this one and see what you think. So there we are, there's some demonstrations of both options that are available at the moment. Hopefully, like I said, you can hear the difference between the acoustic personalities, as well as the, how good the electrics do sound in it. Now let's move on to why would you buy one of these guitars. So the first thing to note is this is not just a gimmick. What it is an innovation in acoustic and electric guitars, all rolled into one instrument. I know a lot of people are put off by the price tag. It's a lot of money for something that is essentially a new idea. But the reason is because it's an American Fender. I mean, this guitar is built with rigorous quality control, with really high quality tone woods. The electronics in it are of the highest quality that you can get from American Fenders, you know, and it's been designed extremely carefully so that it best does the things that it says that it does. So these guitars are brilliant for people who record in studios, who are playing live in varieties of different styles of music that require different acoustic personalities, as well as very quick changes into electric sounds. You know, it does both brilliantly. So a lot of reviews I've seen of these, people are just plugging it in to a regular guitar amp and cycling through acoustic sounds, and they're not going to get the best out of the instrument doing that. These acoustic sounds are designed to be plugged in and to be played through a device that is designed to amplify clean or even acoustic sounds. If you're not using a PA or an acoustic amp to control these acoustic settings, it's like buying a really nice Porsche and pushing it down the road with your hands. That's not what it's designed for. Using those amps with these acoustic settings it's just not going to get the best out of the instrument. That's why I've gone through an acoustic amp. You could also go through a PA, plugging it into like a preamp or straight into a recording device, also a good way of getting the best out, but you absolutely need to be plugging this into something like that. Obviously with the electric sounds, then yes, absolutely, plug yourself into a Twin or a Princeton or something nice like that. I've seen a few really good setups with these where they've got a Fender ABY switch, and then when they move on to the electrics, they hit the switch and then it switches the sound from the acoustic amp or the PA into the electric. That would be great. That's another way of getting the best out of this instrument. So a lot of the apprehension behind these guitars has come from people who haven't played them. So if you're still kind of on the fence, you're not sure of what this thing can do, how they feel to play, my advice to you is go and try one. Go down to a guitar shop, borrow a friend's, something like that. Go and play one, and hopefully you'll realize what I realized when I played it. It's that you're getting a guitar that feels great, it plays really smoothly. When you're plugged in, you have 7 different acoustic guitar sounds to compare to 1 from a regular acoustic, and you've also got a nice electric sound. But look, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought. Maybe if this demo's changed your mind, maybe if you didn't quite understand what it was before, or if you've tried one, if you liked it. If you didn't, let us know. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel, and we will see you very soon.